Tabletop role-playing games. All right. So in my video yesterday, and thanks everyone for watching it and responding. I talked about hobby games, like being a hobbyist as a gamer. And what I mean by this is, I want to clarify that term, is that I mean like you produce something, you actually have something. Now, this isn't to produce something to sell it or to distribute it. It's something you produce just to kind of like have for you, your community, stuff like that. And so like if you go and buy like a copy of Monopoly, for example, and you go home and play it and you open the boxes, you run it rules as written with your friends, your family, whatever it is, you're not really producing anything. You're having an experience, you're producing an experience, but you don't have something to show for the difference of it afterwards. Whereas like, if you this is where it gets kind of tricky though with like something like Dungeons and Dragons, is like if you do pick up a game, say from Target, and you go home and play it like that box adventure, you do have to do some creativity with it. Like the game will not be the same as for anybody else. And so you do kind of have something there, but it's also not something you can show afterward. It's, the narrative is the kind of after product, the byproduct of the game, if you will. And so when I talk about hobby gaming, what I mean is like you actually are trying to build something that you can show afterwards, that's enjoyed, or kind of have an artifact, or even like a written adventure or something like that that you can work with. So for example, like when we're playing Alien right now, that comes with like a box set. It's a really nice box set. I can run it straight as written, and they have the props out of the box. Some of the props I didn't like. I redid them. I rebuilt them. I redid the map. I have a whole little plastic sheet of a map I use here now to help aid that thing. I painted the miniatures to make the miniatures of that game look identical because they're all like people in flight suits standing on sewer plate. So it's like, so I want to make sure they look distinct. I took some time, I have efforts, and I can show what I did to change and kind of hack the game to make it better, to make it a more pleasurable experience, to make it more to like my terms. And I think that's a lot of what a lot of these games, what I'm so fascinated by, is how they are yours. No one else has the same experience. Like I said, you go buy the D&D adventure at Target, you run it with your friends, you probably have a different experience. Not similar, but totally different experience than anyone else has ever run that game or ever will run that game. And so that's what I'm really interested in, is just trying to have people be more oriented towards kind of this creative element of it as an outlet, but not for profit, not to something to populate, to send out in the world, to then publish and sell and distribute. Something that's part of you. Maybe your clientele at best, your audience is your community of friends, people around you immediately, the people you play with, etc. So that's kind of what I want to say about hobby gaming, what I mean by that term. It's a term I keep on coming back to, and what I think distinguishes my interest in the field and how I engage in it. So, all right, thanks everyone. All right, later.